What's up guys, it is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2016 career mode here for Season 3 in the 2018 season. Now first off, a little apology for the start of this episode, only in this qualifying sequence which I recorded before the race. I've lost game audio for some reason, so there'll be no game sound during qualifying, which I do apologise for, but hopefully it doesn't disturb you too much and we can still continue on with the qualifying session. Once we get to the race, the audio is back on there, so for some reason just in qualifying I had an issue with the audio cables, and for some reason it just seems to pick up my audio, and I've been having a few audio issues in a few of my videos lately, you may have noticed, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe my headset's on its way out, but either way, let's try and crack on here and continue on with what we're doing. So we're currently in Hungary, and as you can see, we've done our first lap in qualifying on the soft compound tyre, and we actually get a pretty okay opening lap up in P11 there, so not last, unlike the last few races, and a good opening lap around a circuit that should in theory suit our car a little bit more than the last one. So let's try and see if we can try and improve now on the Super Soft compound as we come towards the end of our second time lap, this time on the Red Bull Super Soft. As you can see on the Delta, we're up by quite a bit on our lap time here, and this should get us hopefully substantially further up the grid. As you come out the final corner, open up the DRS, and as you can see, that's going to get us all the way up into P8, so not too bad there, and considerable improvement on the lap time. But we're going to go for one more run on one more set of Super Softs, and that's going to be our best run of the session. So here we go then, running it low on the clock, and dying embers of the qualifying session, running it down all the way to turn 1, spot out the 100-meter ball on the left-hand side, possibly even the 50 if you're really ballsy, but I've got traffic on the inside in the form of Roman Grosjean, which doesn't really help my lap time, and I'm gonna lose about a quarter of a second in the first corner alone thanks to Grosjean there, so not ideal start to the lap, so I'm going to have to try and recover it as the lap goes on, as we go through turn number 3 now into turn 4, flat out through here, and now we basically run it up to the first sector split and turn number 5 over the blind crest on the left-hander here. Don't try to track extend too much, I just about keep it within the track confines as we now go into turn 6, using third gear to get the nose in because I missed my apex slightly, and now approaching turn 7 and 8, the right left chicane here. Third gear, be really aggressive when you're pushing it, you can gain a lot of time as I just did there, reversing my delta into a positive as we now go into turn 9 and then turn 10, fourth gear pretty much all the way through this section, and then get the power as we go through this swooping left-hander into this very nice right-hander, slightly off camber and slightly blind apex, but we get the run nicely, and we're currently up on our personal best as we drop it on the 50-meter board for the right-hander here. Third gear corner, pick up the traction, and now we've only got 2 more corners to negotiate, starting off with the penultimate corner. Third gear, try and keep it nice and tight on the apex, crucial to get some good traction here, use the pit entry if need be, and now we go through the final corner in fourth gear, possibly third if you want to, I prefer fourth, and then open up the DRS on the exit, and so far it's a pretty good lap, and we are going to improve on our lap time, but only going to stay in P8, so that goes to show that even though we improved the lap, the actual position we were in didn't really change. So slightly disappointing there, and you have to wonder if Grosjean hadn't gotten in the way in turn 1, could we have gotten ahead of Alonso at least? But as you can see, Vettel there getting a pretty good result in second place, and Bottas taking pole position with Ricciardo in P3 there, and Max Verstappen in 4th. Lewis Hamilton could only do P6, so quite a shocking result for him there. But overall, a very interesting qualifying session, and Alonso once again out of qualifying me. But this should be a very interesting race around a track that does suit a car. So let's try and give him a good battle here as we move on to the Sunday for the race for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Right, so who we are then is race day for Hungary, and first things first, I want to apologise guys, I have watched the footage back, and I've realised qualifying has lost the game audio. I probably would have mentioned it already in the post commentary in qualifying, but I'm just saying it anyway. I do realise I made the mistake on the day of recording, but I can't go back now because the game has saved, so I do apologise for that, but we're going to crack on with the race here nonetheless, and I think I've sorted out my issues, so hopefully it all works fine from now on out. But just a quick one, looking at the race strategy here today, and then we're going to kick things off on the Super Softs, obviously because we qualified on this compound, and then we're going to transition onto it of medium tyres, and then eventually go on to the softs at the end. So it should be a fairly straightforward strategy with a simple 2-stop, and hopefully we can have some good pace around here, and hopefully better than qualifying. Unlike Silverstone, we should have a bit more raw pace around here. We should be on the money a little bit more. So hopefully, with that being said, we can try and be competitive and have a good race today. So I think we're going to jump into it without any further ado, and hopefully we can try and have a good Hungarian Grand Prix and bounce back from the last race in Silverstone, albeit we still managed to extend our championship lead. So let's just try and do some damage limitation around here and try and beat Valtteri Bottas. So let's get straight into the race for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Right then, here we go, Hungary, round 9 of the season, 5 red lights, it's going to be lights out, and away we go. Let's try a good start here off the line, pretty good initial launch. Lewis Hamilton's off to an absolute stalker off the line here, And we're going to race down to turn 1. Van Dorn with an incredible start there in the McLaren Honda. But here we go into the first corner, just negotiating it very carefully, taking it very easy. Van Dorn's had contact with Alonso. I think I'm going to capitalise, getting past Hamilton there and running the P6. It's been a good start for me here, and making some good positions off the line. Bottas is the man leading the way up front, so that's not ideal for the championship. But either way, it's still a good start from us. We've got 17 points cushion over Bottas, so it's not too bad. But here we go then into the second sector, and P6 got Lewis behind us. A bit of a corner cut there as I just readjusted the grip levels in these conditions. But like I said, I fancy my chances in the race here. Hopefully I should have more pace in Silverstone, so we should be on the money here. And Bottas has got a Vettel for company behind him, whilst we've got 2 Red Bulls here of Sainz and Verstappen being chased down by Ricciardo and myself and Lewis Hamilton. So after that, we've got a bit of a train cast behind us, so it looks like it's going to be a top 7 battle here for possibly the race win. So it's going to be a very interesting race, so hopefully you can make good work of it, light work of it, and have a little bit of fun. So let's jump into it. This entire top 7 is so close around the circuit, and now we've got DRS enabled, so let's see what happens. Bottas though up front could be a sitting duck once we start using our DRS. But here we go then across the line, fastest final sector there, getting some distance between myself and Lewis Hamilton onto lap number 4. And I haven't really got that much pace. Like, I'm not the fastest, so like I'm not going to get past Ricciardo on merit. I'm going to need to try and time the move and try and be smart about it. Like, in terms of raw pace, I think he's faster than me, but I'm definitely surprised. I thought it'd be a little bit more competitive around this, so the upgrade in the next race is going to be much needed on the car to improve our straight line speed and just overall improve our car. But for now, looks like we're struggling around here for a little bit, but luckily Lewis isn't making the move on us either, because there's just such a big slipstream effect between all these cars that he's actually not getting any benefit from it. So I think we're going to be sitting pretty stationary at the moment. We're just sitting behind Ricciardo. I think we can probably pop in maybe in the pit stops, maybe get an undercut, maybe get a few of these guys, but we need to time it to perfection. Either go for the undercut or the overcut, because I've still got a bit of tyres left, so I think I can push on these if I've got some clear air. Right, this entire top 7 is so close. You could throw a blanket over us. We're so close on track, but I can make the move on Ricciardo now. He's starting to hold me up a little bit, and I feel like I've got the tyres, so I may try and size him up for a move at the end of this lap. Right, here we go then, on to lap 6, into turn 1. I'm going to think about the move, but I'm just a little bit too far back. I just ain't got the engine power to make the move. Meanwhile, Vettel has had enough. He's made a pass for P1, getting past Valtteri Bottas. So Vettel making a move. I'm expecting some of the guys to pit this lap, depending on what the situation is. If guys pit, then I'm going to crank up into rich mix to try and push an overcut, because right now my tyres are in good nick, so I do fancy an overcut. So let's see how that one goes out. Meanwhile, we've got a big fasty battle between Sainz and Bottas going on. It's very close with Ricciardo. Just had to get on the brakes there. So it's going to get very interesting very quickly. I'm going to go around the outside of Ricciardo. He's going to squeeze me onto the curb. Just getting no traction on there, which is not ideal into the chicane. Ricciardo's going to take the racing line. I'm going to still put my nose in. Can we get Ricciardo? Yes, I do. There we go. Force my way through. And this is allowing Vettel to really streak away up front. But, right, let's see what these 3 guys ahead of us do this lap, because I'm going to stay out. I think I'm going to stay out for a few more laps, actually, because I think I've got some tyres left still. So I can maybe overcut these guys. And I don't want to come out in traffic, which is another big growing concern of mine. So let's just stay out for a little bit longer and see what these guys do. But right now, that was a good move from Ricciardo, absolutely crucial. Surprised he left me that much room, to be honest, because he pretty much was ahead of me. So here we go, ending lap 6. Bottas comes in, so he's had enough of them tyres. Seb and both of the Red Bulls stay out, so I'm going to stay out also. I think Bottas is the only man that's pitting, so Bottas may be struggling on them tyres. But either way, on to lap number 7 now. Ricciardo will have DRS on me, so he's going to go for the pop into turn 1. He's going to pull to the inside, and I'm going to leave him the room. I'm not going to fight him too hard. He left DRS now on the run down to turn 3. He's going to squeeze me a little bit. I'm going to pick up the traction though. He's going to have DRS, so it's going to be a drag race into turn 3. Can I keep my nose up the inside? There we go. Pick up the inside line apex. Got the power on us now to use the camber to my advantage. And there we go. We've gone to the P4. And now it's time to push it into rich mix and try and pull away. I've got over 3 laps, so I've got plenty of time to push on this fuel mixture mode. So let's go. Okay, so Seb pits also. I believe Sainz and Sebastian pit. Verstappen stays out. I've pulled out enough of a gap to Ricciardo, so Ricciardo can't repass me with DRS, so that's good enough for me. The rich mix coming in clutch. I've got to push hard this lap now, as I'm staying out for 1 more. After this, I think I want to pit in lap 9, so I want to go for the major overcut. So let's try and make it work. So now Verstappen and Ricciardo are going to come into the pit lane. I'm going to stay out for 1 more lap. Lewis is also pit, I believe, or he's going to pit, so I'm staying out for a little bit longer here. I feel like I've got the pace, so as we come across the line, 24-1, pretty much matching our personal best. So 1 more lap. Let's push it really hard this time around, and then coming in this lap. Right, here we go then. I'm going to come in for my first stop of the race. So let's push the pit entry, crank it down to standard for now. Come on then, let's try and see what we can find time-wise in this pit entry. Let's push the line. So down to 18. Wow, that was very close. Very marginal on the line there. Alonso stays out for one more, I'm guessing, because I'm pitting. But that was a very, very close pit stop entry. And I think I've timed to absolute perfection. Now to hope that some of those guys will come out in traffic. And that's going to give me the chance to push on 1.9 pit stop. Absolutely perfect. There goes Vettel, who's the net race leader. And here comes Carlos Sainz on mediums. Meanwhile, I'm on softs. Haven't made the overcut work. I'm going to come out ahead of Ricciardo. So it has worked to some extent. I'm right behind Verstappen, but I've gone for the soft compound tyres. And because I stretched my tyres out, and I'm going to try and stretch them out again distant, I'm going to try and go for the soft and avoid the mediums here today. So let's see how that one works out for me. But right now, Ricciardo's behind me on softs. He's looking very racy, but I've rejoined in P5, and that is a net P4 if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, I'm not, something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, Ricciardo's making the move now on me. Around my outside, I'm going to squeeze him out there, and there's no way he's going too wide through that particular corner. It just never happens. But right, let's try and pull away from Ricciardo here before he starts picking up the pace. Oh, we've got a yellow flag up ahead. It's Carlos Sainz who's out of the race. So Carlos Sainz has got a problem. He's just blown up in front of us. So Sainz out of the race. We've got a safety car. So game changer there. Carlos Sainz blowing up right in front of us. And the Tag Heuer branded Renault engine just blowing up there. So very unfortunate for him. And that's going to promote us up a position. But I think Alonso's in the pit lane. So Alonso, staying at one more lap, has timed this beautifully because he's going to be right in the mix now. And I think, yeah, he's come out of the pit lane ahead of us. He's jumped me and Verstappen. Wow. Alonso has just done a number on us, on everybody. He's rejoined on medium. So Alonso getting himself right back in this race with a beautifully timed strategy call there. And fair play to him. That was really, really well timed. But I think now we are in a net P4. So this is an actual position now. So wow, Alonso, fair play. Really good time pit stop there. Okay, then the safety car is in this lap, and I'm running in rich mix. I've got so much fuel saved up. I think I may be able to get to the end on that fuel. It's going to be close, but I've got fuel for days basically, so there's no need for me to worry about it. But here we go, onto the restart. Let's try and make it a good one. Alonso, I still can't believe he's in second place. He's behind Vettel. I wonder if he can maybe go for a pop. Meanwhile, I've had a terrible restart and a shocking exit out the final corner. Ricciardo's going to try and line me up for a move. I've gone defensive, but Ricciardo still committing to the inside here. Let's try and defend from him as I go around the outside of turn 1. Can I make it work? Pick up the traction on the around the outside, and there we go. Lovely stuff. Keeping it around the outside there. Nice move, but I want to see how well Alonso fares here, because he's been struggling recently with the car, and he's been complaining that the car doesn't really suit him. So maybe now he's got a second chance to have a second place. He might think differently and try and perform a little bit, but right, let's try and chase down Verstappen here, make a move on him fairly swiftly, and then put a move on Alonso, and then eventually Vettel, I'd like to say. So let's see if it is that easy. Okay, I'm running back of Verstappen here. I've got a really good run on him. I've got the pace now. Rich mix and soft tyres really starting to pay off for me. I tried looking to turn 1, but he's just a little bit too far ahead. But right now, I'm fancying a move on the Dutchman, and purple first sector to justify that, even without DRS. So just goes to show I've got the pace at the moment, and I'm around the move obviously on these softer compound tyres. So let's have a look. Oh, I thought about the lunge there, but just not confident enough just yet. We've got a strategy change option, so let's have a look. Keep current. We're going to keep the same strategy for now. We don't really want to go on a different strategy, so let's keep on going here behind Verstappen, not in the grass, which isn't going to help me there. As long as I'm within DRS down to the pit straight, then I should be okay. Meanwhile, Ricciardo is going to go for the pop up the inside. Okay, here we go then. I'm going to try and line up Verstappen for a move here, because I think I've got the pace to get past him. So let's get a nice exit out the final corner here. Pick up the gearing, pick up the traction. Alright, DRS isn't enabled yet. Now it is. So I'm going to be very close to Verstappen into turn 1. Don't think I'm close enough to make a move on the brakes, but I'm definitely eyeing him up for a possible move here very soon, as I get a good run through 1 and a pretty good exit. I just can't get close enough. Even the Red Bull's just a bit too fast in a straight line for the Audi, but Alonso did a good job on mediums there, keeping Verstappen held up, and very soon he will be getting overtaken, I think, but he's done a good job. I don't know what tyres Vettel's on, but he's starting to pull out a gap here, and so far it's a 4-car breakaway, myself, Alonso, Verstappen and Ricciardo. So us forcing to a bit of a different pace to everybody else. But here we go. I've had a good exit out of there. I'm pretty close. Can I go for it on the brakes? I'm going to look for it. Up the inside. Nice move. There we go. Lovely stuff. Nicely timed overtake. I've got the grip on the tyres. and I've made it up the inside quite nicely there. Verstappen leave the door wide open for me, so strap the inside and now up into P3, and now I can try and get past Alonso and hopefully pass him on the pit straight with minimal effort to not cost him any time in his race and his pursuit for a possible podium. As we are teammates, I want to try and make it easy for Alonso. Also, as things stands, I'll be extending my lead in the championship in the drivers, because Bottas, I can't see him anywhere, so that's good news for me and good news for the team. So here we go then into the final corner, keep it in fourth gear, pick up the traction nice and easy through the final corner, open up the rear flap. I'm in rich mix, so Audi versus Audi, this is where I can compete in a straight line. So here we go then, getting past Alonso. He's actually giving me a good run for my money in a straight line. I must be running very high aero compared to my teammate, but we've made the move anyway, up the inside. I'm now up into second place, and Vettel is on soft tyres just up the road. So Alonso's actually got some good pace in the mediums to be somewhat close to Vettel. So very impressive for Lando here, and he may be onto something here this race if he keeps on driving like this. As long as his strategy obviously doesn't have any faults, which is what the AI tend to do sometimes. Okay then, Seb pits off of them soft tyres. Meanwhile, me and Alonso are staying out, so it's going to be a 1-2 for Audi. I've got to say, the car feels 10 times better in race pace than it does in qualifying. Similar to, I think it was Catalonia. Just the car feels so much better in the race trim, and also Alonso's has some great pace, doing a great job on them tyres in the race pace wise, and we're actually rather comfortably holding down a 1-2 at the moment. And Alonso should be only doing one more stop like myself. I'm going to go on to softs at the end. Alonso's also going to go on softs at the end because he's on mediums at the moment. So right now, Verstappen and Ricciardo, and I think a few other cars having a really dicey battle for P3, which is allowing me and Alonso to just do our thing, set our lap times and pull away, because right now there's only 15 laps to go. So me and Alonso in a good position here to get a double Audi podium, which is something that we haven't had this season yet, which would be a great result for the team and for the constructors as well, a much needed boost. Okay, so Ricciardo's coming to the pit lane, and now Bottas has reappeared in P3. So my championship rival is in third place at the moment. Luckily I've got Alonso as a buffer, but right now me and Alonso are not even focusing on what's behind us. We're just doing our thing here and setting our lap times, which is very good. Alright, here we go then. For the penultimate corner, I'm going to come in this lap for my final stop of the race onto another set of soft compound tyres. I just hope Alonso doesn't come in behind me. That's going to ruin his race, and I think no, he's staying out for one more lap, which is crucial. So here we go then. Bottas just pit the last lap gone, so I'm trying to basically respond to his undercut, and Alonso may get undercut later on, but he'll have the benefit of soft tyres, and he can carve through the field, and who knows, he might just go to the end of mediums. We don't know that yet, but either way, I'm going to come in for my stop, and here we go into the soft tyres once again. 2.5, pretty respectable pit stop. Lewis Hamilton's in behind us here. Here comes Sebastian Vettel. He's going to make his way through, so I'm going to rejoin some nice cleanness behind Sebastian. The difference now is Seb's on mediums, I'm on softs, and I've still got rich mix to end the race, so I can try and hunt him down this time on hopefully a bit more of a tyre compound advantage. So as you can see behind me, Bottas is just making some moves and he's in traffic, so if Alonso pits this lap, he's going to still be ahead of Bottas, which is crucial. So I need Alonso to pit this lap now, as Bottas is now past traffic on them soft tyres. So Alonso, mate, this is a message from me to you, please pit now, this lap. Right then, Alonso's in the pit lane, so that's good to see. Bottas is behind me, so let's see where they rejoin. Hopefully Audi give Alonso a nice quick pit stop, he doesn't get held up at all, which will be crucial. So here we go then, through the final corner. Let's try and make this work. I'm going to probably rejoin ahead of him, but the crucial thing is, will Alonso rejoin ahead of Bottas? Here comes Alonso. He's exiting the pit lane now. I think he is ahead of Bottas, and I think the cars behind him is also going to rejoin ahead of Bottas also. So right now, Bottas is going to be in double traffic. And no, he isn't. There we go. Bottas is going to rejoin neck and neck with Alonso looking on the minimap. Alonso is going to have him just about. So good stuff there from Alonso. Bottas may pass him down the back straight, but either way, Alonso doing the job and disturbing Bottas' rhythm, which is absolutely fantastic. And there you go, Bottas is now making the move on Alonso. They're going side by side, I think, or something, I'm going to guess, but crucially for me, it gives me a chance to get away from Bottas, and Alonso defending like an absolute champion and doing a job for me there, so good job from him. Pace is good, 22.9. I'm catching Vettel slowly, and Bottas isn't catching me that quick because I'm doing some pretty good lap time, so this is perfect. Right, 22.7, even faster still. I'm matching Bottas, and I'm just outside the DRS from Sebastian Vettel, so I could be making a move very soon here. And the cars really come alive around this circuit, especially in the race trim. And the team might be wondering why should we bring an upgrade for the next race, but we're going to need the upgrade obviously for the fast-paced circuits, but I hope it even works. I mean, you never know, it could not be that effective, because obviously there is a big deficit that we have in a straight line. Like, it's going to need a major upgrade, so we'll see how that goes, but either way, this is a track that suits us down to a T, something I expected in qualifying, to be honest, and instead it's happening in the race. And here we go, we're really catching Vettel now. Vettel's really picked up the pace, but I've just kept chipping away and I've just got the gap inside a second, and this is the first time now I'm going to have DRS. Meanwhile, Alonso's doing a stellar job of sticking with Bottas. And oh no, my DRS has failed. No, not now. I really needed that to get past Vettel. Right, I'm going to have to try and catch him on track and surprise him like at the chicane or something. But Alonso doing a great job of holding P4 like I was saying. And who knows, he may even park Bottas maybe. So this is great stuff. Right, out the final corner onto lap 32. I'm 4 tenths behind Vettel, just a little bit too far. Obviously, I've got no DRS, I need to be right on the back of him when I attack the final corner. So, oh, here we go, DRS has just come back. Sweet. So, we're back in business. We'll have DRS down his back straight now. So, next lap we can try and pass him. If not this lap, if we surprise him somewhere. So, let's keep on pushing here. Meanwhile, Bottas still holding third place. Alonso holding P4. Taking a bit too little speed. I should have carried more speed into that corner. But, right then, we've got a chance of rain, but it won't come before the race. So basically the race is going to end before the rain arrives, so that's not a worry for us. Right now we're just focusing on Sebastian Vettel. That's solely where our focus lies at the moment, so let's try and get past him. Right, into the final corner, fourth gear. I'm a little bit closer this time than last lap anyway. Bit of an okay-ish exit, nothing spectacular, but here we go then. DRS wide open. I'm a little bit far back to make a pop into turn 1 I reckon, but I'm going to get really close to Vettel here. Slow it all down, make sure we hit a brake point, take a nice aggressive line through turn 1, open up the DRS again. I'm just not close enough. Vettel's doing a really good defensive job here, just being really quick and crucial in the critical points around the circuit, but I wonder how long that will last for, so I'm right at the back of him here. I'm going to push him literally through this next corner. I'm going to try and wait until the chicane arrives, so I think the chicane is going to be my opportunity. So here we go then, fastest first sector, nice run through the left hand, and now push it into this one here, bring the nose back in a little bit, squirt the power on early. I've had a poor exit though. That's going to ruin my run into the chicane, which is my chance to pass him, so I'm going to have to wait now until the end of the lap. Okay, this time I'm much closer through the final corner. This time I'm almost pushing him through it. Nice, clean bit of traction there. DRS wide open. Okay, this is going to be the one on to lap 34. Here we go. Let's pick up the time, Sebastian. Getting a nice run and pull to the inside. Can I get it down the brakes? Don't overcook it. Nice and easy. Easy does it. Pick up the traction. Open up with DRS, and there we go. We've taken first place in the Hungarian Grand Prix, and now we've got to try and pull away in this remaining 2 laps. And with this way, we'll pick up another race win in a car that definitely shouldn't be fighting this high up, but around this track, you know, this is where it should be. Alonso's also showcasing that this car can compete around here, which is great to see. Right, on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Here comes Sebastian Vettel with DRS wide open. I'm going to squeeze him to the inside. He's made the move. He's retaken first place. It's going to get very interesting. Bottas is not too far behind. If we start battling heavily, Bottas is going to pick up the scraps. I've had a great traction out of there. Really good traction out of there. I've still got plenty of tyres left. Vettel, though, is looking very racy. He's going to try and make the pop at any possible opportunity because he don't want to let his race win slip. So it's going to be a very tense final lap. Those 4 guys behind in the train are really catching here. And I know Bottas is going to be urging to try and catch me up. But I've got to try and hold on to his lead now in this last lap. Right, penultimate corner. The train has officially caught up to us. Bottas is right there. But here we go. One more corner to negotiate. And the race win is going to be mine at Hungary. Here we go then. Let's just try and get a nice clean exit. Here we go. Around the final corner to the line to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. And what a big race win that is. And once again, just getting the maximum out of this car. And Fernando Alonso bringing out a brilliant P4 there. So fair play to him there. But wow, what a result that was. And a 1-4 for Audi. Really good result around this circuit. And hopefully the upgrades in the next race will only help us improve our pace, as next time we go to Spa and then Monza. So we've got 2 big power circuits coming up on the calendar. So we need to be ready for those. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, and we're now going to look at the final race results and drivers and constructor standings. And looking at the final race results, you can see that I bring home the big 25 points as the race winner, with Vettel in second and Bottas in P3, so I extend my championship lead with Fernando Alonso in a really good 4th place. I've got to say hats off to him, really good pace this race, and his fastest lap was actually faster than mine, and he was on the money all race long, so really good race there from Fernando Alonso. And Verstappen and Hamilton in P5 and P6 respectively, with Daniel Ricciardo down in P7 there. But for the Drivers' Championship, it's going to mean that I'm now 27 points clear of Bottas with, I believe, 6 races to go, so not too shabby there. And we've got a good healthy gap to Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton behind, so right now it's looking like a 2-horse race early doors here. And finally looking at the constructors, Mercedes are 35 points ahead of Audi, with Red Bull 74 points behind Mercedes. So pretty much the gap's pretty balanced between the top 4 teams, and more or less the same points between each team. But the next race is Belgium, and I know Audi, we've got some upgrades planned, but I wonder who else is going to bring upgrades for that race. We'll have to find out. But other than that, guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and if you did then please leave a big thumbs up on the video. Let's see if we try and smash 100 likes. Also, if you're not here, why not try and subscribe to my channel for future F1 content with F1 2017 just around the corner. You don't want to be missing out on any of the content on my channel in the next few weeks. And also, if you haven't seen any of the videos on screen right now, then I do urge you to go check them out if you haven't done so already. But I thank you guys ever so much for watching, and see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.